Hello everyone, this is Ashley from Ashley's Creations, and I'm here today to show you this really cute little thank you note card box that I made. So there's 6 note cards in here, and they all have the same flower image, but they all have different sayings and a couple different images on them. So I messed up on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and redo this one on camera with you and then show you how I made the box. Put those aside. So here's the box. Like I said, it's got 6 thank you cards in here, and then right here is a little package of envelope seals that you can use to seal up your envelopes. And then here's the little tag. You could write something on the back for the person if you wanted to. But anyway, so let's get started. So I'm going to bring the big shot and frame. Okay, so here I have, this is the Edger's No. 4 die by Papertrey Ink. It comes in this size, and then it also comes in a size that would match the bottom of a card that was this way. But we're going to use the horizontal one. And this is just an A2 sized card. It's one of the white note cards from Papertrey Ink. And we are going to take and cut the bottom of this. Do it so you guys can see a little better. We're just going to line this up here at the bottom. And then I'm going to take a Post-it note, and I'm just going to put that there so it holds the card in place, because it moved around a bunch when I was first trying to do this. Oops, put the wrong side down. So this way it doesn't move while it's going through the big shot. I'm just going to wheel it through. I'm going to go back once. Okay, so here is the front of our card. It's been die cut with the Edger's No. 4 die. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take and cut the front of our card. If I could find where I put the piece. Okay, oh, here it is. Now, I have this piece of fine linen polka dot paper from the pattern pack, and I'm going to take the 3 flower die from the Sweet Life die collection, and I'm just going to kind of place this on my pattern paper. Now this is an idea that I saw from Betsy Veldman at Papertrey Ink. She had it as her tutorial for the card sets for the Papertrey Ink Stamp-a-faire that was on the 21st. And my friend Michelle and I participated, and we had so much fun. But we didn't get a chance to do everything, so I went back later and did some of them. This is the card set that I had wanted to do. So she used a Harvest Berries collection, I think, the stamp set and the dies, but I thought that stamp set's kind of ugly, so I didn't buy it. I don't have it. And I had just gotten my Sweet Life one, so I decided to use that. So here's our cutout, and we're going to use this. We're not going to use the cutout from the die. So let's put the big shot away, and then we'll finish. Okay, now we have our card base, and then we have our pattern layer for our card. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere that on. Not to the back of the card. Make sure you get all these tiny little nooks and crannies, and that was something that Betsy said while she was showing that. And then we're going to adhere this to the front at the top. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp the image that matches that die cut from the Sweet Life. So here's my Sweet Life, the pictures of the little stamps. We're going to use this 3 flower one right here. And I've already picked up my colors. We're going to do Soft Stone, Fine Linen, and Classic Craft. Those are going to be our 3 colors that we picked out. For the shadowy type image, you need to use your lightest color. And since Soft Stone is a really light whitish grayish color, I decided to use that as my softest color. So we're going to ink that up. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to just stamp it right in here where the die cut is. One thing I've noticed that when I'm using Papertrey ink stamps, I kind of need to have something underneath, some foam to stamp on. So I've taken the foam out of one of my close to my heart sets and I've just placed it underneath so that my image comes out nicer. So we're going to put that aside and we're going to grab the second layer and we're going to ink that up in fine linen. And then we're going to layer that on. Now this layer is a little bit easier than the third layer. The third layer is kind of hard. Sure it's pushed down all the way. It's already looking really cool. I love that detail in this flower. So you could stop right there because there's already detail in it. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the third layer. And this is in the Classic Craft. Okay, now when you're doing the third layer, you need to take your time and line it up because if you mess this one up, you kind of have to redo your whole card. So be very careful with this one. Okay, I think that looks good. It's hard to tell when you're not leaning right over it. I don't want to get in the camera's way. Okay, it's not exactly perfect. You can tell over here that I put it down a little far, but it still looks okay. So we're just going to leave it. Like I said, it's really hard to do these stamps when you're on camera and trying to line them up and stuff. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp the leaves. We've got the solid leaf image and we've got a detail leaf image. So I'm going to do the solid leaf image in Simply Chartreuse. And I'm going to do 2 of them. And then we're going to do the pattern image, or the detail image, I'm sorry, in New Leaf. Now this one's a lot easier to line up. Okay, so there we have our flower. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to add our sentiment. And I am going to be using Thank You from the Think Big Favorites number 18 stamp set. So there it is. And this one was just released in their newest stamp release in July. Now, this thank you is a little bit long to fit all the way across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up half of it and then do the other half underneath it. And that's where I messed up the first time. I forgot to clean off my block, so I ended up with some of the thank. And I'm going to use the craft to do that. And since these are clear, you can make sure that you're not inking up what you don't want to ink up. If you do, you just go ahead and wipe it off, just in case there's any excess. We're going to stamp the thank. And then this time I'm going to clean my block off, clean my stamp off. I'm going to stamp over here to make sure it's all cleaned off. Okay, and this time we're just going to ink up the U. And then we're going to place that right underneath the thank. Okay, so there we have the thank you. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add this little flourishy type thing from the Sweet Life, and we're going to do that in soft stone. And I'm going to kind of have it overlap the U a little bit. Oh, I did it a little differently this time apparently. Last time I did it I had it overlap the U, but that's okay. And then the last thing we're going to do, if I can find my little tiny block that I brought up here. I'm doing this in my living room because there's a lot better light up here. So to make sure I brought everything upstairs with me. I know I brought my little block, but I can't find it, so we're going to have to use a big block. So we'll use this one with the leaves. We're going to take the butterfly, the little tiny butterfly from the Natural Beauty stamp set. This was a Stamp-a-faire exclusive. It was only available with the Stamp-a-faire kit or if you spent $100 during the Stamp-a-faire. And I purchased the kit, so I was able to receive it. So we're going to grab that little butterfly out of here. And we are going to stamp that in fine linen. Okay. Now I'm also going to add some rhinestones. These are the Stampin' Up! Basic rhinestones. And I'm just going to add 2 of them right here under the beginning of the thank you. Just to give it a little something extra. Okay. Now the very last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some pure poppy ribbon from Papertrey Ink. And I'm just going to do a knot. Dawn McVeigh had a very nice tutorial on how to tie bows and knots during Stamp-a-faire, and I really think that even though I knew how to tie a bow, I knew how to tie a knot, just watching hers made me feel like I'm doing mine a lot better now. I'm gonna leave it on the spool. A lot of people like to just, well, not a lot of people, but I'm sure some people just cut off the ribbon and hope they have enough, or maybe they cut way too much, but I always leave mine on the spool so I don't have a lot of waste. And we're going to do left over right, and then twist this one up here, and then we're going to bring that down and do right over left, and we're going to twist this one so that the silky side shows, and then I'm going to pull on the right one. Okay, so my camera stopped right as I was finishing my bow, but you guys saw the gist of it where I tied it. The next thing I did was I just cut it on an angle on both sides, and this is all the waste that I had right here. So look how cute this was to make, and it's just super simple. Now the only thing that you have to do is change out, you don't have to, but you could change out your thank you like I did, and then picking the colors. So you have to make sure you pick some good colors for this. And that picking the colors and then die cutting were the only things that were really hard. So it's the only thing that took a while because I did 2 at a time. So but they were really easy to make, and they didn't take very long. So it'd be a really cute gift for somebody. I'm going to show you the other ones that I made really quickly because they're all a little different. Now this one has Blueberry Sky pattern paper, and then it's Spring Rain, Blueberry Sky, and Enchanted Evening ink. And then I used the Merci from Big Favorites #3. And then I also use this little swirly thing from Stitches and Swirls. And then I use Scarlet Jewel ribbon. And then this one is Pure Poppy pattern paper. And I used Sweet Blush, Berry Sorbet, and Pure Poppy on the roses. And then this Gratitude, Thanks for Your Kindness, is from the Beautiful Butterfly stamp set. So right there. And then this is from the star set. Superstars. So it's just the little star right there. So there's the red one. And then I use Classic Craft ribbon. And then this is Harvest Gold paper, and I use Lemon Tart, Harvest Gold, and Summer Sunrise for my flower. And then this Thank You, You've Been So Thoughtful is from Signature Greetings 1. So right there. And then this little tiny rose is the exact same rose as this one, except it's tiny. And that's also from the Sweet Life. And I only stamped the second layer, the second detail layer. So here's the shadow one, here's the middle layer, and then the third layer, I only stamped the second one. And then I used Autumn Rose ribbon. On this one is Raspberry Fizz paper from the paper pack. And then I used Sweet Blush, Hibiscus Burst, and Raspberry Fizz for the flower. And then this thank you, this cute little thank you, is from Heart to Heart #3. And then I also used that little heart right there. So thank you plus the little heart. And then I used New Leaf ribbon. And then this last one is the Winter Wisteria paper. And I used Lavender Moon, Winter Wisteria, and Royal Velvet for the flower. And then for the thank you sentiment, I used Think Big Favorites #2. And I just love these ones. Like, look how big those are. Those are perfect for cards. And I didn't put any extra little pictures on there because it was the very first one I did, and I think it still looks okay. So, and then this is Simply Chartreuse ribbon. So those are the 6 cards that are in my card box. And I'm gonna stop this video and I'm gonna make a second video because it's already getting kind of long. So for part 2 of this video, look for how I made the card box and the envelope seals. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.
Could you whisper in my ear the things you wanna feel? I'll give you anything.